Hey there, Hal here, and welcome to another episode of the Take Your Shot podcast. It is currently the beginning of fall, which means the colors are about to start happening in the trees, and that means mini sessions for many of us. And so I just wanted to use this episode to talk about mini sessions because I know it's something that not everyone does, not everyone loves, or maybe it is something people do, but maybe they don't find as much success doing it as they were hoping. And so I'm just going to talk all things mini sessions. I'm going to talk through my experience, things that I've done that have been successful, times where I've failed, and all the things. So with that, I'm super excited for you to be joining us today.
You're listening to the Take Your Shot podcast, a podcast for wedding photographers and videographers looking to grow and scale their business. I'm your host, Hallie Heather, and my goal is for you to walk away feeling empowered and inspired as you continue to build a business that you're passionate about and that serves both you and your clients well. So whether you're operating as a side hustle or you're looking for tips and tricks on how to improve and scale your business, you, my friend, are in the right place. You don't have to figure it all out on your own, and I'm so glad you're here.
Okay, so to begin, let's just talk about what is a mini session. I think so many people would define it differently. And so I think it's really important for you to define it for your business. So typically what a mini session is it is basically think of it as like a mini sprint of sessions that go back to back to back, that the photographer will choose a time and location and open up specific time slots for people to then, select their time and book a time on the calendar. So basically it's really awesome as a photographer to offer something like this because you can work it around your schedule and you can just batch everything in one time frame versus, let's say you book 10 mini sessions in a day. Instead of having to do 10 different evenings and times all over the calendar, you can do it all in that same sprint of time. And so they're really awesome for many reasons. Like it helps you be more effective and efficient with your schedule. It's also quick and easy for the clients. Like they don't have to think through when or where, anything like that. And honestly, it's great for people who don't necessarily need a longer session. Like maybe they only need one outfit. Maybe they just need something like a couple updated headshots or maybe some photos for a holiday card, or they're celebrating something small, but like they don't necessarily need like this whole shoot planned. It's really awesome for that. And so to figure out whether or not you should be doing mini sessions, first you need to kind of look at, okay, who are you currently serving, and think through in your own business, is there a gap? Is there a need for this? Is this something that your clients would like? So for me, as I focus on weddings, one thing that I've learned kind of early on in my business was the younger people are, the less likely they're going to want to do them just because they don't have kids. They're just kind of getting married and that's kind of the focus. But now that I've been doing this for almost a decade, now all of my clients are starting to have kids. They're buying their first homes. They're a lot more established in their lives and they have walls that they want to put photos on and they have, stories and more memories and just they're realizing how fast time goes and they actually value, getting these things documented all the time. And so I love it. It is one of my favorite traditions. I've got families that come back every single year and there are people where I've shot their wedding, I shot their engagement. Heck, some I've even shot their proposal and they're coming back for photos now with their kids. And it is just so fun as a photographer to over the years, be able to continue serving your clients through mini sessions. Because again, not everyone's going to think, oh, I'm going to book a session. I'm going to do this. But if you're popping in their email inbox and you're kind of reminding them hey, I've already got this whole thing set up. It's an awesome way to just give them this thought of, oh, actually, that does sound nice. And I will just do that. And not everyone's going to take initiative. So it's a way that you can take that in your business. And so I just love them. They're awesome. It's my favorite time of year. And so I will say this. So some of the biggest mistakes I've made have been, 1, not marketing them super well, 2, not always offering them at the best times, and 3, not getting the pricing right and structures right for that season or for, the people I'm targeting. And so I'm going to talk through a little bit of that today. I'm going to talk through kind of just a lot of little details that go into all of this, but there's a lot there. And so first and foremost, when figuring out how you want to structure your mini session, there's so many different ways to do it. And I think it's really important for you to adapt to your audience and really figure out how you want to serve them. But first and foremost, you need to set your goals. And so if your goal is to book a ton of mini sessions because you don't really want to do a bunch of regular sessions, then that's going to look different versus the photographer who maybe you enjoy doing regular sessions and you don't necessarily want mini sessions to take away from those regular sessions. That's going to look different. So for example, let's say you're a photographer and a significant part of your income is doing regular sessions and you enjoy doing those on evenings. You enjoy doing those, often. and that's like a regular part of your business. Maybe you don't do as many weddings and you're more focused on sessions. It's really important then for you to structure your mini sessions in a way where you're not losing business in your regular sessions. So what I mean by that is like, if you offer like regular sessions, like maybe your mini sessions would be like closer to 20 or 15 minutes. Like you don't want them to be half an hour long because that might take away from people who would maybe consider booking an hour with you. There's some people too who like their sessions are always an hour or more, and they don't offer anything less unless it's a mini session. And so, just thinking through those things, like if you have half-hour long sessions and then you also offer a 20-minute mini session, you might be losing revenue on those half an hour bookings, and people might not book those as much because, they're going to probably want to book the 20-minute one because it's going to be cheaper and more convenient. Also keeping in mind the deliverables. So this is a big part of how you want to structure it, is figuring out like, what are you delivering to your clients? Are you giving them every single edited image? Are you actually editing the image, or are they telling you which ones to edit? How are you going to be going through that whole process and like structuring that? And so if you're someone who relies heavily on regular sessions and you're booking mini sessions, I would say for regular sessions, if you deliver all your images, that's great. Do what you want with that. But for mini sessions, if you don't want people to like stop booking your regular sessions, then you probably shouldn't give them all the images for your mini sessions. Now, I'll preface this. So I have done it multiple times in multiple ways. This year, I decided to kind of go back a little bit. So I personally, when evaluating my business and evaluating this year how I wanted to do my mini sessions, I personally was looking at my calendar. I was like, I do not have a ton of capacity to do a bunch of regular sessions. And regular sessions for me are not a significant part of like my income or my structure or what I rely on. Like I focus very heavily on weddings. Like currently you can look at my Instagram. Like I really don't post many families. I really don't post much like maternity or newborns or anything like that. And it's not because I don't enjoy doing those and I don't want to do them, but I'm very niche down into weddings and that's just my focus. And so for me, mini sessions are a great way for me to serve past clients. It's a great way to connect. It's a way to continue preserving their legacy, but it's not necessarily like, oh, I'm just a portrait photographer and random people online are just going to like book me for that. So that's like kind of like how I would describe my way of doing it. And so in the past, I've kind of done both ways. So like when I first started, I would give like every single image and I would do it for like $50. It was way too cheap. And then nobody would book regular sessions. And then I kind of swung the other direction where I really raised the prices and I like limited the deliverables. But then I had like no one booking. So I used to have like everyone would book, then I had no one book. And it's really important for you to find like that really good sweet spot for you. This year, some things that were really successful for me were, I kind of took a look at it and looking at my schedule. I was like, if I'm going to do these, I'd rather fill the spots. I don't want to be so cheap where people wouldn't book a regular session, but I don't want to be so like expensive where no one books. And so I really found that sweet spot with my audience. And when marketing it, so I'll talk about that next, I kind of had some different incentives, which I'll kind of get into. So you really want to talk through and look at, setting your goals, figuring out how much you want to make, how much time are you willing to dedicate to this, and then really figure out backwards from there, like how many you need to book, and then kind of, look at, okay, who are you going to now have book these? So when it comes to like figuring out, okay, who is going to book these, like you need to really think about like your marketing plan. So there's plenty of Facebook groups you can do. You can always reach out to past clients. I highly suggest having some sort of email list to really like dedicate to your clients who want to book these mini sessions. And so for me, I've got my email list. It's got like several hundred people on it. And these are all past clients. These are people who've booked mini sessions. These are people who've opted in on social media saying like, yep, I want to get on the wait list. And over the years, it's just been building up. And this is a great way just to, keep people in the know and give them kind of an exclusive offer. So emailing and all those is great. And I'd say when you really want to like launch your mini sessions, like I always launch first to my email list. These are the people who have booked in the past. They're most likely to book again. And I want to reward them for that. And so typically I'll give them some sort of incentive like, hey, if you book by this date, you'll get, more images or all the images, or you're going to get, a slight discount on this. Sometimes both if you really are feeling generous and you just want to fill those spots. And so it's really good just to think through, okay, what are the different incentives and levers that I can pull with this to just make sure that you're serving that list well and that they won't want to opt out. Like maybe they're looking at like, wow, that's a really good deal. I'm not really like able to do it right now, but like I want to definitely stay on this list so I don't miss the next one. Like if that date didn't work for them or maybe they want a different location, like it keeps them interested. So making sure that you're actually serving your email list is a huge key factor to doing mini sessions. And another just way to make sure it's like really easy to advertise is you can also just like have an easy landing page on your website, something that you can keep updated. So when you have new spots available, you can have it there and like update it and link them and all the things. So that's really, I think for marketing, you really want to make sure you hit the ground running months in advance, because not everyone is super spontaneous. And that would be probably one of the biggest mistakes I've made in the past, was just being like, I've got next weekend open. Let me just like try to host some mini sessions and just kind of do it. And maybe you might get a couple bookings, but I found that when you advertise them well in advance and you give people a heads up, they can kind of think about it. And they have a little time to like sit on that like first like offer. Like I love to give my email list like at least a week just to kind of think through things. Let me just tell you, that last like couple hours before the deal ends, that's where you're going to start getting most of the bookings. And it's really important to like have like an email sequence, like reminding them and just kind of asking questions and, making sure that they don't miss out on it, because it's easy to do that. But yes, so having that just really marketed well in advance, giving people time, and also just making the process easy. So it's really easy for people to like just kind of miss on this. And I see so many people who do it manually. Like literally the first time I ever hosted mini sessions, pretty sure I just did Venmo. I had a janky little like list on my phone that I would like screenshot and like write that down, like, or like cross it off on Instagram and like put it on there. And so I was like manually updating it constantly. And I was doing Venmo, and then I was like trying to send contracts, and it was just so many different pieces of the puzzle. And if you're looking for a really awesome tool that you can use to help you like automate the entire process, I couldn't recommend Dubsado more. It is a CRM, and we use it for literally every aspect of our business for managing our clients. And one of my favorite features is their scheduling tool, and they make it so easy. All you have to do is create like a whole like little project for scheduling. You can set the dates that you're available, and then you can like the contract and like invoice and all the things. And like if you have any promo codes, you can add those in there. And literally all the client has to do is click the link. Then they can click the date they want. There's going to be a little list of available time slots available. They can just click that, and it'll take them through the entire booking process, sending them the contract, sending them the invoice, all the things they need. It ends up exactly on your calendar where it needs to go, and you get paid. You don't even have to keep things updated. So I love that feature that Dubsado has, and I couldn't recommend it enough. So if you're like looking for a CRM already and you're thinking, man, I know I want to do mini sessions, look no further, give it a go. I'll put a link in the show notes so you can take a look at that. But you can try their free trial, see if you like it. Their team is really supportive and can definitely help you get that set up. So yes, making it super easy, making it simple. And not only is it easy for your clients, but it's easy for you when you automate the process, because I don't know about you, but I don't want to have to like send a million emails. Like if I'm booking, 8 to 10 in a day, I don't want it to go and be like, okay, I have to send this email and this and this and then schedule this. And what if I schedule that wrong? There's just way too much room for error. And so to have it a process that's like set in stone for you is like amazing. I can't recommend it enough. And then, okay, let's talk about like the post mini sessions. So let's say you've done your mini sessions, you booked up, you now have like all the things to like deliver to them. Like a big thing to figure out when trying to figure out like how you want to go about structuring your mini sessions is like, what are you actually delivering? And so obviously doing it in a timely manner. So if people are doing this right before the holiday season, it's really important that you get them in time. So if they're sending out any sort of holiday cards, they can have those printed and ready to go. I know a lot of people really want to like try to print around Black Friday, because a lot of printing companies will offer specials that day and that weekend. And so trying to make sure that you get it out before Thanksgiving can be really, really big for some people. And then, making sure that when you send the gallery, you have options for upsells. And so it's really good to have a tool that does this well. And another one of my favorite tools is PickTime. So this is what we use to deliver all of our galleries. And what I love about PickTime is literally everything is automated and connected to your gallery when it comes to sales. So what I mean by that is clients can click a photo and they can like go right to the cart and like order prints. There's so many different products. They can create albums, they can do canvases, they can get frames, they can just get like little prints, like 5x7s, like you name it. Like there's so many different things, and you as the owner get to customize the products that you want in your shop. And so it's amazing. And I've also found that like when you deliver the gallery and having an option for them to purchase prints along with some sort of discount code right away, like, hey, thank you so much. Here's a discount code for you to use at the store. It's good for this long. Like my gift to you, like I'm so thankful that you came to do this, and I'd love for you to get these printed for your home. Like something in that manner is amazing. And PickTime literally has an automated like series for this. So Like when they click their gallery, they'll get like a little mini banner at the top saying X amount off if you have any sort of promo going. And like, it's so easy to do. So people will often like opt in for that. So having a way to just continue selling after you deliver the gallery is awesome. And then I also recommend, giving some sort of like print credit if you want, or, do the automated promotions. If you have PickTime and you ever get that email that says, hey, we're going to be doing the Thanksgiving promotion or Black Friday or holiday, like just click the little button. I think you click yes, opt in, apply it to all your galleries. Boom. It's going to send all the emails for you. And I can't tell you, we've made thousands of dollars just by clicking that button. And it's amazing because they just do the selling for you. You don't even have to think. It sends all the emails. It's amazing. And so PickTime literally pays for itself just from that, which is amazing. So making it as easy as possible. And so just to kind of recap, like there's a lot that goes into mini sessions and there's no one size fits all. And again, it's like going back to the beginning of this episode of just like before doing something like mini sessions, it's really important to evaluate your business, your goals, how you want your schedule to look and how you want to show up for your clients and what it is you're trying to sell and push. So like if you raise your prices on the mini sessions and restrict how much you're getting, like you might not book as many and maybe you don't need to book as many, but like if you're trying to protect your regular sessions, you want to make that look better. So kind of using it as a lever in your business. And it's just a great way to, when you send those emails out and you're posting on Instagram and you're just getting in those Facebook groups, it's just a great way to just like promoting your business, being like, hey, I exist, I do these, and it's really fun. And speaking of fun, you can do a lot of different things in terms of like themes. So a lot of people here in Minnesota, like there's some really fun tree farms that people like to do for the holidays. There's also different studios that you can rent that have studio holiday setups, which is really fun as well. So like if you don't want to have to do all the setup, like a lot of studios will do that for you. And like on that topic, if anyone's in the Minneapolis area, my studio has a fun little setup that we're going to be doing this year. So if you're a photographer looking for a done for you setup studio, I'll have that linked in the show notes because it's amazing and I'm biased, but you should book it. But yeah, just like thinking through like, okay, like, am I going to be going towards a specific demographic? Do people want indoor or outdoor? I know in the winter it can get pretty cold. Some people really like the snow and want to do it outside. Some people like the tree farms and really want to get that vibe. But other people are like, oh, I've got like a small child and like they don't really do well in the cold. And I don't really want, my face to be really red and things like that. So it's good to just prepare and like really have like a set plan and really look at the weather, look at your demographic, who you're trying to target and like really what's best for them. And really prepare them for the session. So if you are doing outdoor sessions, like have some sort of guide that goes along with it and be like, hey, like here's some tips on like how to stay warm, like bring a blanket, have hand warmers, like wear a hat, whatever you need just to like kind of keep them up and fresh and ready to go so you're not stiff. Like, think about the scenario or like if you're doing it in a studio, making sure there's really specific directions on where to go and what time to be and if there's any codes or access that they need to get into. Like making sure that it goes as smooth as possible for your clients is really good. And so that is big. And, making sure too, so going back to the topic of email lists, like after anyone is booked, make sure that you continue to serve them and add them to your email list for next year. Make sure that they don't miss it and you can just get repeat clients. Like my favorite part about mini sessions, it is the easiest way to get on your calendar. It is the easiest way for people to work with you when you make it that way. So that is kind of my biggest tip is just make it as easy as possible, not only for yourself, but also for your clients. And it can be a tradition that can serve you and your clients well in the years to come. So anyway, mini sessions are great. I would love to know, like, what are your plans for mini sessions? If you are planning on doing them, like, let's get going. I want to know, like, what are you doing? What are you planning on doing? Do you have any questions for me? Feel free to hit me up at Take Your Shot Collective on Instagram because there's a lot that goes into it and I'm here to support you. So I'm really excited and I'm about to be launching my holiday ones as well. We just sold out all of our fall mini sessions and so it's been quite the season. But my friend, I'm cheering from you from over here and we'll see you next week.